Because you know what's better than a good witch? A good mermaid witch. Hello fellow Ozians. I'm sorry. Hello Barbie lovers and beyond, and welcome back to my channel. This is Marina the 90s Barbie, and in this channel we'll do tons of amazing stuff related to Barbie, so don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out. If it's not obvious enough that I just watched Wicked,
I did,
and I am still shook, but I did get inspired because I do want my own Glinda doll. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't get the dolls because we all know the oopsie that happened, the misprint, yada yada yada. The thing is, I wasn't able to get the dolls, especially the Glinda doll that I want so much. I obviously want Alphaba too because I love her character and I definitely want a doll of hers. But Glinda is like one of my favorite characters of all time for obvious reasons. Since I was like 4, it's just 100% my aesthetic. Alas, it didn't happen. I couldn't get the dolls because it was quite expensive getting her from Amazon. Mattel Creations doesn't ship to my country, and I was just hoping that they would show up here. We really had high hopes because the marketing for the movie had been like substantial, so I was hoping. And it's getting on my last
nerve.
So I kind of got inspired, like I said, to create my own Glinda doll. I obviously have the 90s Glindas, and these are some of my favorite dolls ever, but I just wanted a new version. I definitely wanted Ariana's version, but since that hasn't happened as of yet, I decided to make my own Glinda doll. And I thought to myself, you know, what would look amazing for a Glinda doll? How could I truly make her my own? Well, and this is how this idea was born, of basically merging these two dolls to create a mermaid Glinda doll. Oh my wow! Like I said, Glinda is one of my favorite characters ever, and mermaids are just, in general, my favorite ever. So I thought what would be more fitting than merging these two worlds and create my very own version of Glinda the Good Witch as a mermaid. Because you know what's better than a good witch? A good mermaid witch. So I have these two dolls. This is one of the fantastic Angel Kent designed mermaids, for which I'm always grateful. She is now one of my favorite designs like ever. And this is a thrifted holiday doll, I believe, from the 90s, of course, because we're going to be giving the whole thing a 90s twist, as we so often do. I have some ideas in my mind that I want to work out because I was just getting a serious case of FOMO and I don't want to. And of course, for this project, I have my most Glinda-esque wand because,
you know.
So I'm ready to add some magic and some pizzazz, as Glinda deserves, and create something wickedly awesome. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so here she is, and I do have my work cut out for me because she's thrifted, like I said, and there's much work to be done. She does have some marks on her face. Her lips are a bit chipped, which means I'm also going to be trying my first ever repaint attempt, so I'm very excited. And yeah, the reason why I chose this particular doll for the face of our Glinda is because of her fabulous golden hair that nods, I believe, to both Billy Burke's and Ariana's Glinda, which both have like strawberry blonde, golden tones for their hair instead of platinum or something like this. So I really did want this shade and I love it. She has beautiful green eyes and red for her lips, which we are going to change. So let's move on to the first step and remove her head. And I know that this is from Alice in Wonderland and not Wicked, but still.
Off with her head!
So we have successfully removed her beautiful head, and now it's naturally time to move on with the washing, combing, and detangling part before moving on to ball washing and hairstyling. So let's start. So, as you can see, our girl's hair is fully detangled and beautiful. And in my last video, some of you amazing people out there suggested that I should boil wash her hair before styling it in order to avoid the frizziness at the roots. So this is exactly how we're going to proceed. I'm always really appreciative and grateful of your tips because I'm still learning, and so I'm really happy about it. Now I'm gonna go rinse her off screen of her conditioner and then come back, give her a first boil wash, and then go ahead with her hairstyling. Now for the hairstyling, I'm thinking I should curl her hair to make it as Glinda-esque as possible. But I will be fast forwarding this because we have a whole Glinda to make. But if you want a detailed hair curling tutorial with my favorite straw method, I will have one on the screen right now. So let's proceed. So now that our girl is ready, and it's been a whole day that she's been drying, I'm going to attempt to repaint her lips, touch them up, because as you can see they're very chipped. And I also want to make them pink because what is Glinda without pink lips? Now I have my pink paint right here, and this is actually quite a big moment for me because I've never repainted anything, so yeah, I'm a little nervous, as you can imagine, but I'm still excited, so let's do this. I have this little container here, and I'm gonna mix a little bit of paint with the tiniest bit of water, and then repaint using the smallest possible brush. Wish me luck! Okay, so we are done with the first coat, and as you can see, her lips are now pink, which I'm very happy about. What is really important to note here is that I actually changed my brush, and I went with this much smaller one. This is the Winsor & Newton 00, and that I also had another little brush with water to do any corrections I needed to do. However, as you can see, the paint isn't still lying smoothly, so I will be doing more coats, but first we need to wait for the first one to dry out. Overall, I'm really excited with the result, and I can't wait to see the final one. She has pink lips now. Remember that the key here is thin layers. Okay, so we are done with the lip painting part, and I couldn't be happier and more pleased with how she turned out. Look at how beautiful she looks with her new pink lips. Is it the most perfect paint job? Not by a long shot. However, this is my first time doing this, and I am really happy and pleased with the result. Now I'm gonna let her dry for at least 24 hours before putting any top coat or anything like that, and I'm not even sure if I will because I don't have a glossy one and she's already matte. I'm not gonna be touching her or anything like that, so maybe I'll just leave her like this for now. But she looks very pretty. I'm really happy. So I did 3 very thin layers, and I feel like the result came out pretty great, pretty smooth. I even had to go like painting over here, the tip of her smile, because there was also red paint there, so I just wanted to cover that up too, and I think she came out pretty cute, if I do say so myself. So like I said, this is my first time doing this, so key takeaways here: multiple thin layers, the thinnest brush you can possibly find, and 1 extra very thin brush just to be able to correct any imperfections, especially if you're just starting out like me. So we're gonna let her dry now. She looks fabulous with her pink lips and green eyes. I'm just seeing her on the screen now, and I'm really in love. And until then, I think it's time to work on her body and outfit. Let's do this. So here's our body ready to be transformed, and for the first step of this transformation, what we are going to do is adjust her arm poses. We're gonna give her 1 princess arm and 1 bent arm because I want her to be able to hold her wand, obviously, because what is Glinda without her wand? So I'm going to do that by warming up her arms with the hairdryer and then manually adjust how I like. Let's do it. Okay, so here she is looking fabulous. I love her pose, and it will look so great with her wand. But one thing I also want to do is cut those little thingies over here. I don't know what these are called. At her neck peg. Here you go. Because it will make the head slide in easier after we're done, because I don't want to put too much pressure on her body or head. So it's time to move on to her fantastical outfit. So I have this fantastical fabric. This is sort of a mesh or a tulle, and it has the prettiest and daintiest gold striping going on for it. I'm really obsessed, and I believe it's very Glinda. So we're going to be using this to create her outfit. I'm not going to be creating a gown per se, because she is a mermaid and I want this to be apparent. This is not just any Glinda, she's a mermaid Glinda. So I'm going to be using that to create layers for her tail and body, and I'm actually really grateful for this fabric. It was given to me by a family friend, and I just really love it, and I'll be using it in many projects. So let's see what we can do with it. So for the first step, I'm going to measure her waist, and what I have is 10.5 centimeters. So I'm gonna take my ruler and measure that here, reach this point, to make a little mark. And then basically just cut the fabric. Okay, once cutting out the part I want, I will be folding it in half, like so. So basically I will create a little rounded shape by doing this with my compass. And now I'm just going to cut out that part. And done. So we have the first layer of our outfit. Looks so pretty. I love this little golden like stripes so much. So the next step we're going to do is, of course, take this A6000 plus glue, which is apparently great for both rhinestones and plastics and also fabrics. And basically what I want to do is glue down this part around her waist to create the first layer. Let's do it. So this is the first layer of her outfit, and while this is drying up, we're going to move on to the second layer. Also, one thing to remember, before she's fully dried, always take a little piece of paper or anything, wipe off any glue residue because you don't want her to dry up like this. So for the second layer of her skirt, we're basically going to do the same thing, but this time make the piece much bigger, because we are then going to create pleats to create that Glinda pleated bubble dress effect. Now once you're done cutting this part, you should end up with something looking like this. And we want to sort of mimic a flower petal because this is what, to me, Glinda's pleats look like. So I'm going to just sew some pleats. I have here some needle and some thread. And fair warning, I am not a seamstress, so this isn't going to be perfect. And it isn't supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be fun. And also, from what I've seen from the movie and the dolls, Glinda's pleats aren't like super perfect either. It's kind of asymmetrical. It mimics flower petals in my opinion. So this is what we're going to do with this piece. So this is a second pleated layer, as you can see. And I actually kind of love how it turned out because it also mimics not only flowers, but also like a mermaid tail in a way. And I really, really love it. I hope you can see it. And yeah, but before we glue it, we're also going to make all the other parts. So what we are going to do is create 2 half moon shapes, 2 or 3, I'm not sure, depending on how I like it. 1 for each shoulder because we're going to give her the signature Glinda shoulders, which I am obsessed with. And also, even though Ariana's pink dress doesn't have that, from what we've seen in leaked images, she will get that on the second movie. So this is what we're going to do. And then of course, maybe I'll cut a piece of fabric to add to her fin. And the fin I will be using is this one, and I really love it. I think it matches Glinda's energy and shapes so well. This is from the Odile Closed Mouth Mermaid, and I'm thinking I'll maybe cut like a similar part to add behind this. I'm not gonna add anything to the front because I want to show it off. I think it looks so pretty. We don't have any more sewing to do, so let's cut all those parts before gluing them onto her. Okay, so I might have lied when I said we wouldn't have to sew anything else. However, I do wanna not pleat, just ruche a little bit this part, which is gonna go behind her fin, you know, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. And what I'm also gonna do, because we aren't even going to glue down this part, I'm just gonna tie this thread around the tip of the tail here so that when it pops in, you know, this will stay behind. And now we have a piece that looks like this. It's definitely very subtle, but I definitely wanted some tulle going on around her fins. So I love it. It matches the flower petal theme. So let's go ahead and glue everything together onto her. But before we do that, let me give you an overview of all the pieces we have for her. So this is the fin, and then we have these little pieces for her shoulder pads and our big pleated piece for the second layer of her skirt. So let's do this. So I'm ready to start gluing, but before we do, I read somewhere after doing a little bit of research about curing times, etc., that this glue could actually be toxic. So I will be wearing gloves this time. I will be responsible, and also I am in a well-ventilated area. So just a warning, if you are planning on using this glue, even though this is the odorless version, I would suggest that you wear gloves, no contact with mouth, eyes, nose, nothing, and that you're also in a very well-ventilated area. And if you can wear a respiratory mask, also do that. So yeah, all that said, let's start gluing. So we have glued down all the parts, and sorry if you're hearing weird noises because I actually literally have all my windows open right now while using this glue. Please excuse that. Now we have glued everything down, and now it's time to zhuzh her up a little bit. And I'm going to be using these pearly beads or decorations, whatever they're called, to not bedazzle her, but be-pearl her a little bit, because, you know, Glinda's whole thing is bubbles, and especially for a mermaid Glinda, what's more bubbly other than pearls, right? So we're going to use that, and my goal here is to not touch this glue at all. I will only be wearing one glove because I have to have some control, but I will lay down the glue on my little plastic surface and then use some pliers to apply the pearls basically all over her. So this is going to be interesting. Let's go ahead and try it out. So I am quite enjoying how she's turning out. And now we're also going to bedazzle her little fin. I'm sorry, I meant bepearl. Okay, I have now bepearled the fin too. And one good trick I noticed for those tiny pearl beads is that you can use a toothpick to just tap them on there, and it works great. Okay, I believe I'm now officially done with the bepearling, and I'm actually really happy with how both of these pieces turned out. So it's time to move on to accessorizing, because at the end of the day, who is Glinda without her fabulous accessories? Now, to create her crown, I will be using this piece right here. As you can see, this is a clear plastic piece with 3 stars, and this is actually the window of the packaging from a Barbie Extra doll. And I mean, we have all those packagings, so why not utilize them to create something good? Now, Glinda has stars on her crown, so I will be using these. And the original Billy Burke Glinda's crown is actually made of something clear, like I don't know exactly what it is, but it looks clear, like this plastic sheet. So I will be using this one to create a pointed shape, taking inspo from both new and original Glinda. And I'm basically going to be eyeing this because I'm not good at designing, so yeah, wish me luck. I just brought this in because this is really clear, so yeah, hopefully now you can kind of see it better. Now this is the shape we have ended up with, and I actually tested it on the doll to see that the size is okay for her head, and I'm going to now put together using this because I'm cheap. But what I am going to do is a diagonal shape here. I hope you can see the X being marked here because Glinda's crown kind of goes outwards, you know, when it comes to shaping. So this is how we're going to create that illusion. Now, please don't worry about the staples showing at the back because we are going to bedazzle this, of course, so we can cover those. Just make sure you snip any excess. And there we go. Our crown is ready. We're all done. No, I'm joking. I have her wand right here, and look already how Glinda-esque this whole thing looks like. And of course, we are going to bedazzle this whole thing. This time actually bedazzling, and I will be using these stars as well because I think they will look so pretty on her crown. So anytime I can utilize Barbie packaging, it's great because we need to recycle, right? And this is the best way to do so, if I do say so myself. I'm gonna open up all the windows and start bedazzling. But this time I am going to be using these jewels, but fear not. We have some super cute clear ones in the mix here, and I will be only be using the clear and crystal-like ones because this is Glinda. So let's move along. I forgot to mention this, but I'm doing 2 little holes, one on each side, so that I can sew the crown on her head when it's time. And the siren just decided to go off. How beautiful! Okay, wow. I am now done with this part and it feels like 100 years have passed. So I have to let everything dry out. I also finished the crown and the wand, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. Is it the most perfect job? Is it the most polished job? Obviously not. I'm not a professional. However, I'm still really happy with how everything turned out. I feel like this crown is very Glinda-esque. We're in Oz. Everything is kind of like Alice in Wonderland, kind of crazy. So I love it. And yeah, basically we have to let everything dry out for at least 24 hours before handling anything and of course putting together our fabulous doll. I'm very happy until now. Of course, it has been a wild ride, but still I'm really happy. So we're gonna let everything sit for now and then we're gonna come back and put her together for the big reveal. It's good to see her, isn't it? I mean, she's so popular. Okay, I'll stop now. I am so happy with how she turned out. So happy that I was able to bring my vision to life. This is almost exactly how I had imagined her, and possibly even better. So I am really, really happy to see her. As you clearly saw earlier, I am definitely in my Glindacore era, and I am living it up. This is so Glinda, but also so me, and I am so excited. I loved seeing the movie, and let me tell you something, when I saw her all finished, I really wanted to shed like a few tears of happiness because I worked on her for like 2 weeks, which is why the video was delayed. So when I see people criticizing Cynthia and Ariana so bad for always crying on interviews, etc., it's like when you create something and you love it so much, it's so easy to get emotional once you see the finished result and you feel like it's real. So I totally get that. I think that people have to think of the things they love and of the things they accomplish and how great it feels when you finally complete something that means so much to you. Remember how important a movie like Wicked is, and then I feel like they'll get this sentiment much better. Now, a few details on her look. Her head is of course from the Holiday Barbie, like I said, and I was so lucky that it's such a great match with this amazing color change mermaid body, which I adore. Again, her fin is from the closed mouth Odile mermaid, and her amazing wand is from the 20th anniversary Nutcracker doll because it's the longest one. Of course, it's not clear like Glinda's, but I still love it. Everything else I showed you how I made, and to create this look, I took inspo from both Ariana's and Billy Berg's Glinda's, and I also took some inspo for like the dress part from Barbie a Pearl Princess. I love the result, and I hope you love it too. Now, one final warning on the glue. Like I said, I use the E6000 Plus glue, and if you are to use it, please wear protective gear, please work on a ventilated area, and please wait 24 to 72 hours for the glue to fully cure before handling it, because prior to that, it can emit fumes. All that said about the glue, it's really important to note, however, that the result came out exactly like I wanted it to. This glue retains its elasticity once it's dried, that even though I got glue on her joints, she can still move around her arms. She hasn't lost any of her articulation, which is amazing. And also, this glue cures so clear. Here, as you can see, it's like all the layers are literally coming off of her body. It looks so wonderful and ethereal for a mermaid Glinda, and I just love it. It was really important for me to retain her little belt here because I love her design. All the little pearls hold so well, and the bedazzling on her crown. So yeah, just handle this glue with caution and be warned, please. So I think we made good, like Glinda wants to do. I am honestly so happy, and I'm just living it up. Thank you, my fellow Ozians, for watching and following me on this journey. It was amazing, and it's even more amazing to be able to share it with you. Now, if you want to see more photos of this gorgeous queen, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram and on my Instagram right here. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new one. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, do all the things you love. Enjoy your dolls. Let your creativity roam free. Defy gravity to follow your dreams. Have the happiest holidays ever. And of course, keep a positive attitude because it really does change everything. Peace!